Again, there's a time where subscribers and viewers will comment on some of my videos that I've been giving, because on Financial Literacy 101, we give financial information, tips on stocks, how to build your savings, how to generational wealth. And every now and again, I love to give political commentary and oration about current events and some things that just probably on my mind, to have the viewers and other subscribers to think outside the box. But every now and again, there are comments that are left that inspire me and inform me that maybe you should do a video on this to give a different contextualized statement of a response to certain critics. And this is in response to an African critic on one of my videos that I've done. And we're going to cover some of this here this morning and as well as this afternoon. So with that being said, this is coming from OG. And this is what the statements are stating here. He says, you keep mentioning Nigeria and South Africa. Well, I want to respond to majority of the statements that the man here has essentially stated in his comments. First and foremost, the reason why I have said Nigeria and South Africa most likely is not only do they have some of the largest GDPs in Africa, but majority of the students that some of the reports out of the Ukraine and the Western media was stating. That is why I'm addressing Nigeria and South Africa, or essentially mentioning them, okay? But we'll get into some of my video so we can do some comparison and correlation so other viewers and subscribers can understand what we're talking about. He also states, fair enough. But like I said, no African goes to Ukraine as an economic migrant. Do your research properly. They are a very tiny number. Africans go to Ukraine for studies, most for medicine and some of engineering, which is absolutely true. But there are thousands of African immigrant students and citizens who become citizens of the European states. They're within the Eurasia continent. So that number is grotesquely false. So there are thousands of African immigrants who have went there for STEM-like and doctors and lawyers and have stayed there because of the conditions of those countries, because they're essentially first world countries. And they have said this throughout the Western media. I'm just giving you statements here. But since you decided to go through this route, U.S. is the biggest economy in the world. However, the quality of life generally in Switzerland, Norway, Germany, etc., are well above that of the U.S. Why? There are so many countries in the world better than U.S. and basic life indices, which is absolutely true. So with that being said, we're going to do a rough rundown of the countries. So number one, Canada, Denmark, Sweden at number 3. And then we get to his country. Sweden is number 3. Norway is number 4. We got Austria, Netherlands, Finland, and then Germany at number 9. You don't see the U.S. yet. New Zealand, Austria, Belgium, Japan, United Kingdom, Ireland, Singapore, France, South Korea, Spain, and the United States of America is coming in at number 20. Then we talk about the public education system as well as the public health system. Why do you think why do you believe these countries in Europe are highly taxed? Because their education and because of their healthcare systems are socialist systems. More socialist than some of the American systems. This is why these places are quote unquote utopia for those citizens. See, when we talk about the quality of life, let's not talk about who runs the country. Let's not talk about the majority of the citizens. Let's talk about the African immigrants over there. What are their quality of life? And see, this is how things become very divisive when you kind of do a broad spectrum and very vague statement. So we're doing horribly bad compared to our European counterparts. We're doing horribly bad compared to our European counterparts. They're blowing us out the water. But here's the question. Not to be divisive, but to separate fact from fiction. Why do majority of African and Caribbean immigrants come to America versus Europe? Now, when we talk about proximity, I understand why a lot of Caribbean immigrants come to America. That's plain and simple. It's proximity. You guys are closer to us than Africa. I understand. But why do African immigrants in large droves come to America versus European nations? It's because our laws, our legislation open the doors and opportunities from immigrants around the world. Because the one thing that America banks on is becoming the world's most powerful nation. And what do? We headhunt for the brightest of any nation, even though we oppress some of you melanated people from Africa. We still want the biggest and brightest stars of everyone. See, when you go to some of these European nations, they have a small population of African immigrants. They have a small population of American Black immigrants. Why is that? First and foremost, it's very expensive to live in Europe. And when we talk about the quality of life, we're not talking about the home you have. We're not talking about the car you have. We're not talking about the actual quality of living within a neighborhood or district. We're talking about the quality of life mostly with education and healthcare. That's because that part of their government is a socially ran government when it comes to healthcare and education. And that is why it is better. In America, this is a almost 100%, as I said, almost. I'll give it around 95% capitalist society where you have to pay for quality education. Our private schools are absolutely great. Some of our charter schools are great. Any school that you essentially pay for in America are better than any public school system. But see, what you don't understand in social society, that great school system that Europe has, all the countries in Europe have, the great healthcare that they have, those citizens of those European states are paying for it with their tax dollars. They're being taxed over 40% on an income of $40,000 to $50,000 when you convert it from different European countries. It's very expensive to live in Europe. And this is why people come to the less of the West. They come to America. See, not too many Americans go to Europe to live a better life. They don't do that. They stay right here in these United States of white supremacy.